I don't know about you, but if something isn't in my face pretty regularly, I'm gonna forget about it. Anybody else? Hi friends, I'm Sarah, also known as Budget Girl here on the internet, and today I am talking about 3 easy and free ways to keep your New Year's resolutions or goals front of mind all the time so that we might actually have a chance of completing them this year. I think that'd be great. So if you're anything like me, over the years of your life, you have started lists of New Year's resolutions, and by the end of the week, month, a few months, you've completely forgotten about them, or they just kind of sit at the back of your brain, making you feel guilty, and you're not actually accomplishing them because they're not just all up in your business. So I have a couple of methods that I think will be really, really helpful. I have been using these myself and have used these myself before, and they just help. So let's get into it. So we're going to go over 2.5, 3-ish ways to keep your goals and your visions right in front of you all the time. The first is going to be with a digital vision board that you can save as your screensaver, and here's the half, as your phone lock screen or home screen. So I have done vision boards in the past. It's very fun to like cut up magazines and do stuff like that, but quite frankly, it's also hard to find pictures and words in magazines that necessarily match your aesthetic or would look good on like a bulletin board in your home. And I personally just never really loved them. Because it's very hard to match up what you can find in magazines or like print off the internet into like a really aesthetic thing that would look very nice in your home and won't look very disjointed. They're really big, so that means that anyone else that comes by your space, if they're in like your office or something, is inevitably going to comment on them, and that's not always the funnest conversation. If you have like walk every day or like lose weight on there and they're like, hey, have you been doing that? And you're like, no, go away. 2, they take a really long time to make the traditional way with the cutting and the pasting and the arranging. And 3, they become invisible after a while. Like most of the decor in your home or office, if it's up on the walls, it kind of fades into the background. It's not necessarily something that's going to be drawing your attention constantly. So I think there's a better way to do this, and I think that the solution is a virtual or digital vision board. Now, I made mine using Canva, which is a completely free software. It's just a website that you go to, and I'm going to walk you through how to do it for both your computer screensaver and also for your phone lock screen, because I think if every single time you pick up your phone, there's a background there that has some of the stuff that you want to accomplish this year, we might remember it this time. I'm also going to link you guys to an awesome printable. It's going to be free on my website. I actually designed 5 different versions, and this is using a method that I've used to great success before, and this is going to be tracking like 1 habit. So if you want to say, we'll use me as an example, I want to floss every single day this year. I have been a semi-regular flosser for the past 31 years, and I recently paid $500 for some painful dental work, and I think if I floss every day, I will at least not feel guilty for the cavities if they come again. I'm gonna use the don't break the chain method with this printable that I created, and all 5 of these for different aesthetics. And this one for you guys who want this but don't have to want to print all that color. Looking out for you. The don't break the chain method is really simple, and it deals with psychology in your brain that makes you want to do things over and over and over again. And I have used this before very successfully for other things. So essentially what you do is you post this up somewhere in your home, and if you want to floss every day, you're going to put this in the bathroom, and then every single day I'm going to use a pin to cross off the day. And once I've done that for a few days, I'm gonna start to see a chain. And when I see that visually every day, I'm not going to want to break that chain, so it'll probably inspire me to just do the thing that I wanna do real quick so that I can keep the chain going. So there's an entire year here on one sheet, and you could use this for walking, you could use this for taking medication, doing a nighttime routine, anything that you would need to do every single day that you want to accomplish, and you just cross off each one and put it in a place where you're gonna see it every day. Ideally, next to the thing that you wanna do. You could also modify this a little if you have something that you need to do every single week. You could take like a highlighter and cross out like every Thursday. It just has to be a visual chain that you don't want to break. And then all you need is a pen and a printer. Print this out. It's free. It's on my website, budgetgirl.com, which is full of cool stuff just for you. So that's totally free for you. Let's get into the tutorial on how to do a virtual vision board. So right now I am at canva.com, which is completely free, and you can go into it and create a graphic for either your phone or your desktop or whatever you want. I make tons of my Instagram graphics. You can follow me at Go Budget Girl. Facebook stuff, I created these in Canva, so you could do that if you wanted. The first thing you're gonna wanna do if you want this to be a desktop background is to create one the size of your desktop. Now, most desktops are about 1920 by 1080. Yours may be bigger or smaller. You could also stretch it on your computer settings to make it fit if you want to, but fortunately for you guys, there is a presentation template that you can use that will get you the basic size of a desktop. They also have one for phones. All right, so there are templates over here on the left-hand side, which you could use as a basis if you wanted. I am just going to start out putting in my categories that I want to pull in visuals for my goals. So right here at the top, I've got 2020 vision board. I've got some potential categories here. Personal goals, business goals, travel goals, financial goals, relationship or family goals if you have those. And then another one for like beyond this year. All of these are optional. All of these you should customize to you in your life. So, and you could also organize this any way you want. You could make it into some sort of grid. You could make it into just kind of a crazy, just visually pleasing one, kind of like I did, but totally up to you. And the way that I put in these text boxes was I went over to the left-hand side and just clicked the text box, and then there are some options. I actually think I used that very first one, and then you can change the font right here, and you can change the size, and you can change the color. So all of this is highly customizable to whatever you want it to look like, which I think is really cool because I don't want to be limited by what magazines have, and this is searchable. So after you've put in your categories, if you decided you want to do that, you can start pulling in visuals of what it is that you want to accomplish. So you can make these with any sort of visuals that appeal to you. I went for kind of a very bright, high contrast look because I really love color and I like having it in my face all the time. So to find visuals for your board, all you do is go over here to elements, and then you can actually just search whatever you want to search. So say you want to walk every day. Just type in walking, and there are all of these little people walking. You could also maybe try sneakers. And I like those. They're in my color palette. So then I would just click it and then resize it in the board. And what I did for a lot of these was I actually used a additional little text box to define what it is that my visual is about. So instead of just a pair of sneakers, that could mean I want new sneakers, or it could mean walking or whatever. So I can say walk 2 times a week. You can size that up. You can even, if you highlight both of those together, you could group them. So then when you're moving them around, they move together. It's always fun. Now you will see over here on the left-hand side that some of the graphics have a little $sign by them. Those will cost you money. I would not recommend paying for them, and I have never paid for a graphic on this site, or I just keep searching synonyms until I find something free that I like. You could also search for a PNG, which essentially is a photo with a transparent background online, and then import those images into Canva. Those work too. It's totally up to you. So at this point, I would also probably pick your background because your aesthetic might change based on what kind of background you like. So this right here is one of the final versions of my vision board. This is the one that's on my desktop right now. I might alter it a little. It is very busy. I like it. You might not like something so busy. So what I did for this was I just searched photos over here on the left, and I searched floral, I think. And then you can use any of these images as your background as well. And to do that, you just select it, size it to your screen, which is very intuitive, and then use the position box to send it all the way to the back. So then you can, move your stuff around, make sure it's not competing with anything that's in the background. And if it's just a little bit too high contrast, what you can do is select your background image and then use this button up here that says transparency, and you can lower the transparency so that your graphics that you put on top of it will be easier to view. I have some examples here of ones that might look good. One that is less busy than mine. Like this is a very simple kind of plain background with just a couple of leaves out to the side. If you wanted to then kind of design around that, you could kind of make things be a little bit more centered, kind of 70s looking striped background that I'm actually a really big fan of, because you can see my text and images really, really well, but it's still kind of a pretty and cool background. So, and that one, I think I just searched pattern. So this one would also be cool. And once again, I just click it, place it, scale it, and then position it to the back. And then I'm gonna have to delete that one. So, oh, actually, I really love that. I might keep that one. Look at that. All right, so here's another one that I found that is much more funkadelic and has some more leaves in it. And say if you wanted an actual photo, say you travel is one of your big things this year, you could use like this cool photo of a plane and then design your graphics around that, or to complement the background image that you have. But let's go back to this one that I just made and I thought was really cool. So as you can see, I've got it set up very abstractly. Some of these I'm using are layered images. So how did I make these combo graphics? Because obviously there wasn't one like 100,000 subscribers on YouTube just sitting in there. Let's go into that. But first, go ahead and subscribe, because as you can see on my vision board, I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers this year, which would just be amazing. And I just want to be your internet money friend who teaches you how to manage your money, pay off debt, and live the life of your dreams on any income. So go ahead and join the fam if you're new here and you haven't yet, or if you're not new here and you haven't subscribed yet. It's fun, and I give y'all free stuff and teach y'all cool stuff like this, like basic graphic design. So to make this 100,000 subscriber button, I just searched in the elements for YouTube. Oh, and look, there's a YouTube button. And then I added some text on top of it by just selecting some text I thought would look cool, and wrote in 100,000 subscribers. Sized it to what I wanted, made it a white color because I made everything white because I thought it would pop. And then I clicked the text, held shift, clicked the box, and grouped them. And now I can size it to scale and put it wherever I want. And you can also turn these to make them fit using this little button at the bottom of each graphic that looks like a little turning majigger. Kind of continued going through each of the goals that I wanted to set this year. For instance, this duplex one is actually a grouped together set of houses because they didn't have a duplex. Gotta be creative in these. And I filled this up until it was something that I wanted to look at every day. And now it's on my screensaver every single time I open my computer. It's right there for me to look at. It's at my work, it's on my work computer. It's on my laptop at home. So, and then I did the exact same thing with the screen on my phone. I used a slightly different design and a slightly different layout just because it's kind of hard to transfer something as big as your desktop screen down onto this. So I pulled out some of my favorite goals And now every single time I lift up my phone and I open it, I am reminded of kind of what I'm working towards this year. To save and implement this onto your desktop, all you have to do is go up here to the top and download it, say as a PNG. You can also save it as a JPEG or a PDF, but your desktop probably is going to require it to be a PNG or a JPEG. And then you can download it. Now for me, I just save these like to my desktop. And then what I do on my Mac is I right click it and then it sets the desktop picture. On PCs, I think it's properties. And as you can see on my very messy desktop, that is now my home screen. And also whenever I just open my computer, that's also the basic screen I see, and it's without all of the folders and everything that I'm currently working on. I just really love the idea of a digital vision board instead of a paper one. Perhaps that's just my style. It's nice to be able to keep things within like an aesthetic and also somewhere where you look all the time. I will have more on how to create these digital vision boards on my website, budgetgirl.com, as well as where you can find these free printables. I really hope that you like this method. I actually talked about it in a video several years ago that I will also link below, and this is really one of the most effective. I hope your New Year's goals setting goes really well if you participate in that, and that you found some of the things I talked about in this video helpful. If you enjoyed it, I would love it if you liked it. And once again, if you haven't subscribed yet, trying to get to 100K here to help even more people with money and life improvement. If you want more than just a weekly video from me, you can follow me on Instagram at GoBudgetGirl. You can follow me on Facebook at GoBudgetGirl, or you can join my Facebook group, the Budget Club, which is an awesome community where we can talk one-on-one about your money situation and share ideas. Don't forget to visit my website where it will have the free printables as well as a ton of other resources for you guys. And I will see you next time. Bye.